Allotments and community gardens are a tradition dating back hundreds of years and can be found dotted all around the world, offering people of all ages the opportunity to get outdoors and grow fruits and vegetables to feed themselves and their families. First appearing in times of great hardship and a lifeline to people suffering from poverty and food shortages, allotments have now evolved into a place where folks can get away from the rat race and city life and mould their own little oasis of peace and tranquility. This peace is not always guaranteed though, as we will find out as we count down the top 10 causes for conflict on our allotments. Number 10. Water. One of the most vital aspects when growing fruit and vegetables is ensuring that they have enough water to grow and thrive, giving the gardener those much coveted bumper crops. In situations where water is scarce or where access to this life-giving fluid are restricted, you can guarantee to see sparks fly. Whether it's a plot holder with no water, jealously eyeing a neighbour's bulging butt, or an inconsiderate gardener attaching their hose to the only tap, preventing others from using it, a lack of water will cause some people to snap, and theft, sabotage, and conflict can ensue. Number 9. The committee. Many allotments are overseen by an elected body known as a committee. The committee's role is to ensure that standards and rules are upheld at all times and the allotments remain a safe, happy and profitable place. They have the power to decide who joins the site and ultimately who leaves. Some inevitably fall foul of the association, especially if their rules are enforced with an iron discipline. Rules can range from the height of structures and trees, tidiness and upkeep of paths and plots, parking, selection of permitted plants, percentage of the plot used, and the list goes on. You'd better keep in line or there's sure to be trouble. Number 8. Parking. Yes, believe it or not, something as straightforward as parking your car can be the spark that ignites a conflict. Allotments and community gardens are situated in a wide range of locations and very few have dedicated parking. Access to the plot might be via a quiet neighbourhood, a busy industrial estate, quiet country lane. Whatever the access, you can guarantee one thing: where people and parking are concerned, you're never far away from a conflict. Whether somebody disagrees with your choice of parking spot or somebody else has blocked you, parking at the plot can be a minefield. Number 7. Weeds and mess. Do you yearn for a perfectly manicured and organised plot, or is your style a little more natural? Whichever way you choose to garden, it's fair to say that weeds and mess are never a good thing to have around for long. Some weeds can produce thousands of seeds, some creep underground, some travel on the wind, and who wants to see a messy scrapyard next door? If you want to avoid the wrath of other plot holders, it's always best to stop the weeds before they affect other sides and keep your plot tidy, or it'll be more than dandelion seeds that come flying over the fence at you. Number 6. Noise. Ah, the peace, the quiet, the sounds of the birds and the bees and the wind rustling through the trees, and what's that? For many, a few hours at the plot can be a much needed escape from their hectic life, and the sounds of loud music, dogs barking, or the screeches of unruly children can totally ruin the experience. Obviously some noise is unavoidable, but consistently breaking the peace will surely lead to a different type of ear bashing altogether. Number 5. To dig or not to dig. In general, there are no right or wrong ways to tend your plot, but there are still certain aspects that can incite some very passionate debate. One topic sure to raise passions and voices is that of no dig. Avid supporters of this technique will speak of its ease, its benefits, the way it has changed their lives forever, whereas more traditional gardeners will hear none of it, preferring their own tried and tested methods. Many an allotment forum has erupted into a quarrel over this contentious subject. Choose your sides and be prepared to argue it out. Number 4. Chemical versus organic. Now, this is one subject that really gets the blood flowing on allotments the world over. Some aspire for a chemical and plastic-free oasis of organic produce. Some will use every chemical product available from weed killer to pesticides in order to rein in nature, and that is where the conflict can begin. A chemical gardener and an organic gardener will likely never see eye to eye, but care and consideration should be used to prevent your choice from affecting others, or else your difference of opinion could soon become a major problem. Number 3. Territory. On sites without clearly defined and enforced borders, sometimes a war over territory can erupt. With every inch of a plot being coveted growing space, an unscrupulous plot holder could attempt an aggressive expansion. Typical tactics for such a move include moving fences, digging up pathways so that neighbours have to forfeit part of their plot for a path, or growing plants so close to boundaries that they're effectively spilling into next door's plot. Unchecked, this type of aggressive expansion could easily end in all-out war with the neighbours. Number 2. Jealousy. Jealousy on the plot, like in all areas of life, can lead people to carry out some despicable acts. Maybe their plot is not doing so well, maybe a neighbour has invested in a new item for their plot. Looking over your plot neighbour's fence and allowing jealousy to take hold is never going to end well. In the worst cases, it can lead to theft, sabotage and vandalism of a person's property and plants. Cases of weed killer being used, plants being damaged and crops stolen have all been reported, and jealousy is the #1 cause for these crimes. Number 1. Theft. Some might not see the disappearance of a few plants or the smashing of a shed lock as a major crime, but the effects on the victim are the same as if it were their home being burgled. The feelings of sadness and violation are too much for some, and plots are regularly abandoned following a theft. Whilst break-ins are rare, the biggest surprise is that a large percentage of thefts that do happen are carried out by other members of the same allotment site. More and more victims of allotment theft are turning to passive and active theft deterrence. The use of wildlife cameras and even traps are on the rise, and if an offender is caught and identified, you can guarantee there'll be fireworks. Oh, just a quick note, this video isn't intended to scare people or put them off having an allotment. Allotments are really fun and fulfilling places, they're really safe, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend everybody giving it a go. With a little consideration for others and a lot of hard work, you can create your own little piece of heaven and enjoy fresh food all year round. And that just leaves me to thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.